morning, everybody. Now, Pastor, Reverend, Bishop, you know, the name, your name, those who are in Christianity, you know what Judas did? Now, I cannot understand how a pastor we'll have to talk about that name. Director of Proceedings, Mrs. Rickett, thank you for giving us your house. Every time we ask that you are willing. Mr. Van Zyl, have you got an aircraft? You got an aircraft, a plane you are flying. How many passengers can it take? Colleagues, everybody, welcome and good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now, must I always repeat this? This one is not a memorial service. No, it's not a memorial service. Please, relax, relax. Huh? Why are you so tense? Good. Today I'm tasked with launching of the 2021 Namibia Annual Sport Expo. But before I go further, let me first thank my, do you call it in English, predecessor? Minister Erastus Uthoni. I think he's the one who came up with this idea of a sport expo. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Thank you very much. As we gather here today, I urge all of you to take a moment and look back at the history of sport in Namibia. This is now since independence. You will agree with me that we had very talented athletes. The road was very difficult due to lack of funding. Great strides have, however, been made. And Namibia has progressed from being a non-descript participant at the international world, to a more competitive player. There has been an upsurge in international performances from our country's athletes participating internationally. From the exploits of the incomparable Frank Fredericks, through the unassuming Luket Swartboy, echoed through the hardworking Colin Benjamin, further encapsulated through the explosive Harry Simon, demonstrated the galloping Hilaria Johannes and Johanna Benson. Namibia has always punched way above her weight at international sport arenas. International boxing rings are filled with sounds of joyful ululations made by the many Namibians that have ascended to great heights of becoming champions of the world. Similarly, international football fields have borne witness to the unique talents of Namibian footballers like Elifas Shipude, is fondly remembered at Motherwell, that is in Scotland. So is Darundara Chikudu at Werder Bremen in Germany. Mohamed Slice Osep, Robert Nausep, Ronnie Canalelo, Ricardo Manetti, and Henrico Bordes are amongst a host of Namibians that in South Africa blew their vuvuzelas in appreciation of the unique skills these Namibians brought to the theater of South African football. Even Spain has fallen prey to the unique skills of Namibian footballers with Senator Coleman. We had these people like, and I hope some of you will remember some of these names I'm mentioning. Jacques Burger, Johan Deisel, Chiwe Wanivi, and many others have also shown Namibia's unique talent on the rugby field, clearly indicating that although Namibia has lost the Walvis Bay-born Percy Montgomery to the Springboks, the country still has many more rugby talents to choose from. Rugby, hockey, cricket, wrestling, all had fallen prey to the might of Namibian athletes. Director of Ceremonies, encapsulated by the above-mentioned athletes is the most important aspect of being able to earn a living through sport. Thus, it is of cardinal importance that as a country, we aspire to establish professional sport here locally in Namibia. Of the many athletes involved in sport, few will make it to international world leagues, with the bulk simply only playing or able to play their practice and their trade locally. Recently, after the excellent showing of Team Namibia in Tokyo 2020, the private sector showed their willingness to part with their hard-earned monies. In this regard, I call upon the very same people that were eager to get on the bandwagon of Namibian sporting excellence to now avail similar funding for sport development in the country. I call upon you to come on board so that we can together unearth the country's sporting gems earlier, so that together we can ensure greater sporting prospects to Namibian athletes. Indeed, sport is growing in Namibia and offers a unique opportunity into the untapped potential that is in Namibian sport. Together, we can do so much more to ensure that the long dream of professionalizing sport becomes a reality. Director of Ceremonies. Currently, the national football team is forced to play their home games away from the country due to facilities not meeting the expected standards. This means that per game day, the country is losing close to 2 million Namibian dollars that is being invested in South Africa and in South African economy through renting of stadiums, accommodation, of the team and officials, air tickets, etc., etc. And importantly, Namibian people are losing the opportunity to conduct economic business outside of the stadium. Here I am referring to those vendors who are selling whatever they are selling and getting something out of that. While the football-loving people, especially the Namibians, can only watch on TV because they cannot go to the stadiums, their team is not playing here. It is in the best interest of everybody for the nation to pull together and ensure that our facilities can be upgraded to fulfill the expected standards. Thus, my call again to the private sector to come on board and invest in sport. We all know the impact sport tourism has on the coffers of the towns in which major sport tournaments are hosted. And Namibia towns will not be any different. Stadium visits to the Emirates stadiums in Benabe and Old Trafford and whatever gives you that indication how attractive sport tourism can be. And Namibia will not be any different. That's my appeal again to the private sector to come on board as major investors in our sport clubs. Director of Ceremonies, this second edition of NASE comes at a time when the whole world has to change the manner in which they conduct business. The global pandemic called COVID-19, the uninvited one, has definitely left an indelible mark on the world. Thus, the decision to host this year's NASE digitally in a virtual format so as to ensure adherence to the Namibian COVID-19 regulations as prescribed by our government. This digital sport expo will advocate for the prioritization of sport to be considered as one of the major drivers of economic development. In this regard, we draw the nation's attention to the upswell and outpouring of the national pride after Team Namibia exploits at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. Additionally, the goodwill exhibited by the private sector in the amount of pledges made to the various and victorious athletes truly captures the potential of sport in the country, both as a driver of economic development and as a vehicle to unification. Sport has the power not only to unite a nation, but a heightened propensity to create a trickle-down effect and stimulate national development. I, therefore, take this singular honor to launch the second edition of the Namibia National Sport Expo 2021, and I thank you.
We can't wait to be together again. But until then, let's stay safe.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts.
Just like that.
Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?